Hi friends, Audrey Christie here with audreychristie.com. I'm a holistic wellness practitioner, and today we're talking about the side effects of antacids, things like TUMS and Prilosec, also known as proton pump inhibitors. So I believe with all things, informed consent is absolutely critical, meaning it's important for you to understand the common links where medication prescribed over the counter, as well as prescription strength, can be a true root cause of downstream disease or the spark that starts a long-term chronic illness or autoimmune disease or even secondary autoimmune disease. And so today we're talking about one of the most common ones, which are long-term use of antacids, things like TUMS and Prilosec. Also, proton pump inhibitors fall into this broad category of things as well. So, did you know that daily use of an antacid frequently shows up as a root cause of disease in the body? If you did, be sure and put a comment below. Let me know if you either use antacids or know somebody who did or knew that that was a root cause. And here's the thing. I meet people every single day that use either over-the-counter or prescription strength medication to bring down the acid in their stomach. Now, courtesy, and a lot of people use them for decades and decades and decades. And this is all courtesy of the marketing used for these things, both marketing to the physicians and marketing to the public. Now, I like to think of an antacid or proton pump inhibitor kind of like a wet nap for barbecue, right? Or at least people tend to use them like wet naps, right? It goes something like, I'm gonna have this super delish and rich and spicy barbecue, so let me grab a wet nap and a TUMS because I know I'm gonna be messy and I know I'm gonna have heartburn after I eat this. It's really kind of baked into our cognition, into our thinking. We think we have to have this little medication to stop the feedback that our body is giving us that it is not enjoying the same foods that we are, right? It's our body like waving that white flag saying, hey, something's not right here, help me. And while some of those symptoms are masked and ignored by taking that antacid, by reducing that stomach acid, stopping that heartburn in its tracks, what's really happening is the body is prevented from thriving, and it's set up for a more intense and serious problem the more times you use it and the longer amount of time that you use it. So the way TUMS, proton pump inhibitors work, it's not complicated at all. Proton pump inhibitors specifically work by a simple mechanism that stops the acid pumps in the stomach from making more acid, right? Antacids actually reduce the effect of the acid, but both make the contents of the gastric cavity or your stomach, right, that little sac that holds all your food, less acidic, right? It makes it less acidic so that when the contents bubble up into your esophagus, right, where that heartburn is, that when the contents bubble up into the esophagus, it doesn't hurt as much, if at all. So in a more alkaline environment, right, we're lowering the acid, we're making it more alkaline so that it doesn't hurt when it bubbles up. The digestive enzyme pepsin that's found in the stomach is not able to have that erosive effect on the esophagus, which runs from your stomach all the way up your throat. The esophageal sphincter, specifically, sphincter is kind of a fun word. And so when we neutralize or lower that stomach acid, and I just have to be frank here, you're completely hosing your digestion, right? Our human suits were designed to have really nice, strong, acidic gastric juices because it's completely necessary to digest our food. It's what allows our food to be digested into, pieces of banana, into the critical amino acids that we need for our body to make the cells and run and energy and all of those things. It's also completely necessary so that your immune system doesn't react to the things that you're eating. Because if you put a banana in your stomach, then your bloodstream, right, your immune system's expecting to see certain amino acids and minerals from that. But if it's not digested in your stomach because you've lowered the stomach acid, well, then guess what your immune system sees when it crosses through the barrier of the small intestine? It sees banana and it doesn't know what a banana is, right? And so we start all of these reactions. Now, with the ongoing use of things like proton pump inhibitors and antacids and other medications that have the same effect, people become really, really vulnerable to a lot of different deficiencies. There's my kitty cat, right? To a lot of different deficiencies. Essential amino acids are one of them because I just gave you that example, but also key minerals because those minerals are usually linked to those amino acids that are found in food. Also, commonly with the extended use of these medications, whether it's over the counter, so whether you're buying it off the shelf at the grocery store or pharmacy, or whether your doctor's prescribing that to you, you will also develop a deficiency of vitamin B12. Now, think about what you know, just to put it in simpler terms, think about what you know about things like energy drinks, right? What you're getting from that energy drink is a boost of B vitamins. And if it's working for you, you're probably lacking in B vitamins. Although don't drink energy drinks, that's not the point here. But if you continually lower the pH, you lower the acid in the stomach, increase the pH, lower the acid, then you develop a deficiency in that B12, that vitamin that gives you energy, that pulls the energy from your food. Good strong stomach acid triggers a series of reactions that allows that B12 to be absorbed. So without stomach acid, you can't absorb the B12, right? And then you have all of the energy level and fatigue and all of those troubles that follow that. So immune function, of course, is affected with all of these issues, and in particular with ongoing proton pump inhibitor or antacid use, so things like Prilosec and TUMS and all of that, leads us to low levels of magnesium, low levels of zinc. It impacts insulin resistance, leads to diabetes and untimely heart disease, or ultimately, all heart disease is untimely, right? So ultimately, heart disease. That happens even if you don't make a stop in diabetes before you get to that heart disease. So this is a really great example. Also, you know, you've heard the term, you are what you eat, right? Really, you are what your body can assimilate, what your body can put to use. And so this is a really great example of how sometimes you might be eating a really nutrient-rich diet, but if your body can't, and when I say don't, I know you're not saying, I'm not gonna absorb that, but if your body can't appropriately digest and break down and absorb and assimilate, convert those nutrients past the cell membrane, then it doesn't really matter what you ate. Your body can't use it. Now, proton pump inhibitors, antacids, that's a really great example of a short-term medication that's designed to briefly let the stomach heal for in the very short term, but using it long term has really big consequences. And because it's available over the counter, a lot of times people just say, it's gotta be safe, right? I can take that forever. So I want you to know that there are more options and better options that are much more effective at healing this mechanism, depending on what the cause is. Most of the time, you just need to increase your stomach acid. Now, for many people, that's as simple as adding something acidic, putting some lemon in your water before you eat, having some apple cider vinegar in your water before you eat, or apple cider vinegar in your salad dressing, for example, putting an acidic component to your food. For other people, depending on where you are in your healing and autoimmune journey, you might require something like digestive enzymes temporarily or even a little bit longer term to allow your body to heal and turn those things back on. But here's the thing, pharmaceutical companies in their quest for profitability and expansion of use of their drugs as many different markets as possible, it's widely believed that acid reflux is caused by too much stomach acid, and that's completely false. Completely false. Acid reflux is caused by too little stomach acid or a weak sphincter, right? And so when you suppress something that you need more of, then naturally it makes your problem worse and leads to long-term autoimmune and chronic disease. As always, if you have any questions, please put them in the comments below. I would love to offer you a couple of resources. One, a complimentary session with me. You can find the link to schedule that also in the video description. Two, I'd love to have you as part of our big Facebook group called the Wellness Circle. You'll also find that link below. And lastly, if you'll click the subscribe button, and ding the little bell. There's a little bell up there to ding so that you're notified when new videos like this are posted. As always, I'm here to help you along your journey to healing your autoimmune and chronic illness at the root cause. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Be well.